When I was 6 years old, my family had a nice house near a small lake. It was a nice private community where little to nothing ever really happened. We had been living there for about a month when my grandma decided to come and visit us. My little brother and I were out swimming and goofing around when we saw her car pulled up in the driveway towards our house and raced to meet her. Grandma always had gifts when she came to visit. This time she brought us fishing poles, but for days we couldn't go swimming. Anxious to try them out, my brother and I took off running towards the lake, poles in hand. Around dinner time, Mom called us back into the house to clean up and eat. Grandma had made us her special sloppy joes and homemade chocolate chip cookies for dessert. We ate quickly, knowing that Grandma would have a new story to tell us. She has always had the best stories about how things were created or why things are the way they are now. For example, she said that the reason a mosquito always buzzes in your ear to ask people if they're mad at them for biting, or the reason wolves howl at the moon is because the mother of all wolves lost a bet to Clever Rabbit and was catapulted up there. Her stories usually made us laugh until our insides hurt, especially when she would use the funny noises of the characters. This story was different though. There were no funny animal voices. There was no crazy theory about something that's come into existence. This story was scary. Once upon a time, there was a little boy who lived on a tiny island in the middle of the lake. The boy loved to go swimming around his island and would spend hours out there. His mother had always told him never to swim on Sunday, but the boy didn't listen. One Sunday, it was very dark and cloudy. The boy decided that he was going to go swimming, despite his mother's pleas not to. While he was swimming, a large fish came up and swallowed the boy whole. The boy and the fish were never seen again. You see, the fish had magical powers. It only appears when it's hungry, and only on Sundays. It is said that the fish is the devil's pet, but no one is sure. Once the fish digests its latest meal, it will come back and hunt again. This could be a matter of weeks, months, or years. No one knows for sure. Needless to say, my brother and I were totally freaked out. We refused to go near the lake on Sundays for a long time for fear of getting swallowed by some mutant devil fish thing. This made my mother happy because Sunday was supposed to be family day. That was when everything went terribly wrong. You see, Dad smoked a lot in the house, especially when he was working on a home improvement project. One afternoon he was applying liquor to the back of the deck when a cigarette fell out of his mouth and into a pail of flammable liquid. The deck was covered in flames, which spread to the house quickly. We all went running out towards the beach to escape the fire as we watched our home burn to the ground. As we were running, I noticed that my shirt was on fire. Panic set in, and as I sprinted towards the water, I dove in without thinking and instantly felt the cool water kill the flame. It was till I heard that my little brother was screaming, "Don't swim on Sundays!" That was the last time I saw my family. And that, my little pretties, was Don't Swim on Sundays, a creepypasta. My final thoughts on this story? Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest when I say this. I've heard of this story from Creepypasta, and this story was like maybe be 6, 7 years ago, around there. I remember listening to Creepypasta's narrations when I was, younger, but I wasn't really into creepypastas at the time. I also do know for a fact that Gory Parodies also narrated this story, and I've seen other narrations of this story about people giving out, their thoughts and opinions on this story. So, yeah, the most common story I've remembered listening this was Creepypasta, and that was like a couple of years ago. So I really would have to say that this story honestly was pretty good, but to be quite honest, it kind of ends on a cliffhanger. Now, what I mean when I let it ends on a cliffhanger is basically when the protagonist's shirt gets caught on fire, they dove in the water, and the brother shouts not to swim on Sundays. The ending just basically ends on a cliffhanger by saying, that was the last time I saw my family. I get it, it's fictional or something like that, and something like that. I mean, the protagonist, like, what happens after what he did and he didn't see his family? Like, what? Basically, my more speaking is what happened to him, or yeah, what happened to him. Like, we don't get a explanation as to what happened. There's no explanation. There's no explanation as to what happened or what happened to the protagonist. Was he like swept away? Was he killed? There's nothing regarding that. There's like no explanation as to what happened to the main protagonist of the story. I mean, that's the main issue. It doesn't kill the story entirely. Well, you guys are probably wondering, does it kill the story entirely? No, it doesn't kill the story entirely, but I will have to say it does knock out a few points, a bunch of points, because you don't even know what happened to the protagonist. Like, could he have been, swept away? Could he have been killed? Could he have drowned? I mean, there's no really real explanation as to what happened. There's like no explanation as to, what happened to the protagonist. So basically, the story kind of ends off with a cliffhanger. I mean, some cliffhanger endings do work with some stories, but to this one personally, it just, I don't really know what to say. It just doesn't really make any sense. If if that makes any, remote sense, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, we don't get any, backup or anything about what happened or what happened to, the the protagonist. Like, what happened to the protagonist? Like, I mean, I guess we can all just, make up our own, story, about what happened, but at the same time though, it just doesn't really make any sense. Maybe this is me being nitpicking, but maybe you guys might have a better explanation, or perhaps you guys might point out something about this story that maybe I'm not seeing personally. But yet again, I mean, who really knows? I mean, there's not really much I can say because the story just ended like on a cliffhanger. That's basically all it can be. Now, I don't really know. Maybe there might have been something, but I probably maybe just being nitpicking here. I think that's what it is. I think I'm being nitpicking at this story, but I'm just don't even know what to actually say or how I can sit there and, process all this. I mean, this story was short, and I mean, I like the fact that Creepypasta narrated this. I do find the grammar and all that to be, good in a sense, good, as well as the everything else of how neatly it was written and all that. But the only main issue is that it just ended off on the cliffhanger, and it just didn't, the cliffhanger ending just did not work out well with the story. That's just my opinion. It didn't work very well. Maybe there's something I'm missing, or maybe there's something I'm not understanding. But maybe somebody could point it out in the story. Maybe they can comment in this video, or like maybe you guys can. But yet again, I mean, I don't really know, to be honest. So, to the author of this story, if you happen to be the author of the story, whoever you are, please comment in this video and let me know that you're the author of the story So then that way I can give you the proper credit. Like I could just mainly credit you in the description and all that. So yeah, I'll do that once I find out who the author of the story is. But anyways, as of now, I can't really say who the author is of the story. And the main issue with this story is that it ended off at the cliffhanger, and it did not work with the story. It didn't work well for me. That's just me. Maybe I'm just being nitpicking, like I said before, but yet again, I don't really know. But like I'm gonna say, this is just simply my own personal opinion. And if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas. This is just mainly my own personal thoughts. My final rating of the story, I'm just gonna give this one a 6 out of 10. It's not a bad story, not perfect, but the only main issue is just it just ended off at the cliffhanger, and it did not make any sense, and I just ended up, not really caring for the last part because it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I the cliffhanger ending just didn't make any sense. That's the main issue, as well as the fact that we don't really know, what. We don't really know much about, well, what happened to the protagonist after. I would like to see maybe a part 2 or something, or maybe a better explanation. But yet again, I mean, I don't really know what to say. But yet again, like I'm gonna say, maybe I'm just being too maybe just too nitpicking at this story. And I mean, that's kind of rare when it comes to certain stories with me. But yet again, I mean, there's exceptions, but yeah. Anyways, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? You all enjoy it? Did you all not? Also, what you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you're new to this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.